Welcome to The Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steeler Nation what's on our minds. I'm Melanie Friedlander. As Steelers fans tune in today to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57, they are probably wondering when they will get to see their own beloved team back on the big stage. My Facebook memories rudely reminded me that it has been 11 years since the Steelers last played in the Super Bowl. In some ways, that seems crazy long, but as any Bills fan can tell you last season and this one as well, it's a long road to the final postseason game. Steelers Depot-owned stats guru Clayton Eckert wrote a post this year about the Contenders and how they stack up to previous teams using offensive and defensive adjusted net yards per attempt. If you're not familiar with Dave Bryan's favorite predictive stat, let me explain. Adjusted net yards per attempt allows us to have a better understanding of a quarterback's efficiency when he's attempting a passing play. It takes not just completed yards into account, but also incorporates passing attempts, the number of sacks taken, sack yards lost, passing touchdowns, and interceptions. It's therefore a much more complete picture of a quarterback's performance in the passing game. It's also a more robust way of evaluating a defense's performance when the opposing quarterback is passing the ball. The Eagles have the advantage today with an offensive adjusted net yards per attempt of 7.2 and a defensive number of 4.4 for a differential of 2.8. That's really good. The Chiefs have a robust 7.9 adjusted net yards per attempt on the offensive side, but the defense isn't as strong at 5.8 for a differential of 2.1. Still excellent, though. The Super Bowl champion Steelers of 2008 posted a defensive adjusted net yards per attempt of 3.2, putting them in the top three of all Super Bowl contenders since 2000. That team's offense posted a number of 5.4, good enough to win with a differential of 2.2. Against the Seahawks in 2005, the Steelers brought an offensive stat of 6.6 and a 4.7 on the defense with a differential of 1.9 and brought home a Lombardi trophy. So how did the 2022 version of the Steelers stack up? This past season was truly the story of two halves. Prior to the bye, the defense was struggling and the numbers back that up with an adjusted net yards per attempt of 7. Call it the TJ Watt effect, and they also got DeMonte Casey back because after the bye, the defensive stat dropped to 4.6. Looking at the games that Kenny Pickett played quarterback, it was a similarly rough start. From the Jets to the Eagles, the offense resulted in a dreadful attempted net yards per attempt of 3.2. That's a negative differential for offense and defense. Post-bye, the offense improved to 5.8. So how close are the Steelers to making it to the Super Bowl, or even just winning a playoff game? The second half of the 2022 season shows they're making their way back. There's still a need for growth and improvement on the offense. You'd like to see a differential of 1 or better, and the second half of the season they were at 1.1. On offense, it's simple. Give up fewer sacks and score more passing touchdowns. On defense, they're keeping the score low enough. I would suggest they need to give up fewer passing yards and get their offense back on the field. I like the Steelers' potential to improve on both sides of the ball in 2023. And based on the backside of this past season, the stats back that up. That's my take. You can follow me on Twitter @GirlSurgeon. Check out The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow us on SteelersDepot.com. And check out The Terrible Podcast with Dave Bryan and Alex Kozora every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.